Hey guys, welcome to Superlative Radio. Dylan Stone here with you. Hope you enjoy the following vlog.
Hey guys, welcome to another vlog here on Superlative Radio. I'm the Saw, and today I'd like to talk a little bit about the justice system. Now, when you look at the justice system and kind of how things go, you know, we have this justice system here in Canada. It's the same one that they have in the United States and the UK and all these other countries, where we have this philosophy of you're innocent until proven guilty, or so they say. That is until the reality of something comes to light. And that is when you're accused of a crime, or it doesn't matter. You are basically, regardless of what they say, you're basically guilty until you can prove that you didn't do it. If you get accused of murder, okay, or robbing a bank, or grand theft auto, or whatever it might be, the police arrest you because they think you're guilty, right? You get charged in Canada by the Crown because they think you're guilty. In the US, it's by the district attorney because they think you're guilty. Everything is because they think you're already guilty. There is not, they think you're innocent, which you're supposedly entitled to be, until they can prove that you're guilty. They think you're guilty. What that means is really, we're not innocent until proven guilty. You are guilty until you can prove that you didn't do something. So, you know, it's on you to prove that you didn't commit that murder, or you didn't steal that car, or you didn't rob that bank, or you didn't, you know what I mean? They say that, well, the Crown in Canada, as an example, or the district attorney in the United States, they have to prove their case beyond a shadow of a doubt. That's baloney. And we all know it's baloney because they don't. They don't have to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt or a reasonable doubt or whatever they want to call it. They don't have to. And that is because, as a society, we have allowed this to continue. I guess when you think about a crime, okay, and then you think about people who get put on a jury, those people on the jury are supposed to be there to be like, you know, hear the case and think, well, I don't think they're guilty, or they are guilty, or whatever. But the reality is you're going to have to convince those 12 people sitting in that box that you're not guilty. Because I sat on a jury once, and I can tell you honestly, when you're sitting there, when you come and you hear what the person is accused of, your automatic thing to think is, well, the police wouldn't have arrested them if they weren't guilty, right? And, you know, you think about that, that's probably the way it is with a lot of people, because you think, well, the police wouldn't arrest them if they aren't guilty. Now, the police arrest innocent people all the time. The courts prosecute people that are innocent all the time. People that are innocent get convicted all the time. And why is that? And I'm going to guess it's probably because we have a tendency to just believe that somebody is automatically guilty before they've had a chance to defend themselves, or before anything is ever actually proven. So, as an example, a good way to look at that is, and I talked about this before in a vlog, the Me Too movement. We are in a society today where a woman can simply say, he did this, and that man is automatically assumed to be guilty. There's no anything. There's a good example of it would be Johnny Depp. Amber Heard, who is his wife, was caught on tape, on video, on many things about all the abuse she gave to him, yet he was assumed to be the one in the wrong. This whole just simply believe women thing is wrong. There are a lot of bad dudes out there that abuse women, that treat women terrible, that do awful, terrible things. They deserve whatever punishment they get. But if we just start going to this, believe her because she has a vagina or a pair of breasts and that she's female, that's inherently wrong. We shouldn't believe anybody simply because they say something. When you go to the extreme of just believe them because is wrong. Now, if somebody goes to the police and says, she assaulted me or he assaulted me or whatever, then there should be an investigation. That's the way it should be. There should be an investigation. And they say that there's an investigation, but I'm going to tell you from experience, there's not. They just, if they're female, they are automatically believed. It doesn't matter what they've done or what they haven't done, or it's just a matter of what they say. All that has to be made is an accusation. And the man on the receiving end is automatically considered guilty because of it, no matter how false of a statement it was. Because no actual investigations take place. Now, sure, for a murder or a car theft or something, there's probably a little bit of an investigation there, yeah, sure. But when it comes to just straight out allegations of things like abuse or assault or this or that, there's almost no investigation. It's just believe this person, believe them, believe them, believe them. When you get to the point where you're just believing people without conducting any investigations, without looking into it and finding out what's true and speaking to the person who's being accused of it and speaking to the person who's claiming it and trying to figure out, maybe you should hook those people up to lie detector tests. Now, yes, I know they say that lie detector tests can't really be used in court because they're not 100% accurate or whatever. But you know what? They can sure as hell give a good example of whether someone actually is telling the truth or lying. I don't think we should have this automatic just believe somebody just because they're male, just because they're female, nothing. When we start automatically doing those things, we open ourselves up to a society much like there was during the witch hunts in the Middle Ages. They're a witch. Okay. They grab said person, they torture said person until they admit they're a witch. Well, most people who were under the torture of what went on by the Spanish Inquisition or the Catholic Church or whatever of the time, and the fact that they were being tortured with horrible, horrible ways and means and utilities and whatever were being done to them, they were going to confess that they were a witch or anything just to get it to stop because it was so incredibly painful. Well, yes, we've evolved beyond the point of torture in that sense, but we haven't evolved to the point where we're stopping to just believe people who say something. To give you an example, there was an entire town in the Middle Ages that literally everyone in that town was killed for being a witch. Everyone, every man, woman, and child. And do you know why? Because one person got accused of being a witch. That person was then tortured and then asked, who else do you know in town that's a witch? So they named somebody, who then in turn named somebody, who then in turn named somebody, until the whole town was dead. And that's historical fact. I don't remember which country it was in or which town it was, but I remember studying it in ancient and medieval history, that there was an entire town, every person in it killed for being a witch. And the reality is none of them were witches because there's no such thing as witches. I'm sure some of the men out there listening to this might disagree with that and say that their wife or girlfriend or whatever might be a witch, but the fact is there are no real witches. Not in the sense of casting spells and raising demons and doing whatever. There's no such thing as that. But let's be honest. I mean, when we're getting to that, we're going to get to that point again where people are just going to be convicted for stuff just because somebody said something. And that's not right. We need to, as a society, we need to make sure that when someone makes an accusation, that accusation is 100% true. And if it's not, we need to actually make sure that that person is guilty. And that's what our justice system is supposed to do. That's why we have it. We have it so that people who are guilty, the proper people who are guilty of crimes, are put away for them or they're punished for them the way they should be, because that's what we're entrusting the people who are in charge of the police and in charge of the Crown or the district attorneys or all lawyers or whatever, the judges, that they're doing the right thing. But let's be honest, they're not. They're people. They're just as flawed as everybody else out there. And they let their own feelings get in the way of what they're doing. Anybody who says they are 100% impartial is full of shit. They're not. Nobody is. It's impossible for a human to be impartial. You can think it is, but it's impossible. Nobody can actually be 100% impartial because you're going to, say you're a police officer, okay? And you have 2 children at home, and you go off to work and you come across someone who's just murdered or raped or assaulted a young child. Even if there's no actual direct proof at that moment, but someone says, they did it, what are you going to think? Let's be honest. You're going to want to put whoever that is away. And you know why you're going to want to? Because you have 2 little children at home that you love and you adore. And you're like, anybody who friggin' hurts children should be fucking punished for it. Well, let's be real. You're not being impartial at that point, are you? Even if you're a cop. Then the lawyer gets a hold of it. The prosecutor puts that person on trial. Well, that person thinks they're guilty or they wouldn't be there. There's no impartiality there. They believe they're guilty. That's why they're trying them for that crime. Is the judge impartial? I highly doubt it. Nobody can be impartial. Nobody. There's a judge in New Brunswick who judges people, and this judge should not be doing so. And I could list the reasons for it and why I think that, but I'm not. But it's just, does that mean that there's judges everywhere like that? Of course there does. Because nobody is perfect. Nobody is 100% impartial. Nobody, because it's just not in us. As humans, we judge. As people, we judge. It's human nature. You judge people every day. Every one of us does. We do it on somebody's looks, on what somebody's wearing, on how somebody acts, how somebody talks. Judgments happen constantly. So when we just start believing what something is, we should never do that. No, somebody's word should never be enough to punish somebody. Proof should have to be offered up before anybody is accused of anything. That's my vlog for today. Catch you guys right here on the next one on Superlative Radio.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Superlative Radio. Come back anytime, and when you do, please make sure you subscribe, make sure you leave a comment. We really want to know what you think. We'll see you soon. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, because that's the way it's supposed to be.